Alright, what's going on, Premium? I'm gonna recap today. As you guys know, I've taken the last 2 days off. It's been pretty lit. It's been pretty fun being able to sleep and not trade. It's also getting my mind clear. You know, there's CPI tomorrow morning, so I'm hoping to get some accounts off that. And then next week, Monday, is a holiday, so I'm not gonna be trading, obviously. And then the day after bank holidays, I really don't like trading a lot of the time, so I'm gonna trade on my own, but I'm gonna be very, very careful. Like, it'll probably end up being a no trade day unless it's like A plus screaming at me to take it and the price action is good, just because the days after bank holidays usually suck. And then Wednesday I'm going to be live for free. Thursday I'm going to trade on my own. Friday I'm going to be live for premium. And hopefully we can start building up a buffer on these new accounts. I think I need to go around +6 with what I'm risking to get my first payout plus a buffer. So 6 winning trades. I mean, I really have no timeline on it. We're already halfway through February, so I'm not like, oh, I need this payout by February. If I make no money in February, that's not really a big deal to me. It's really just about setting up for a good future. All right, who cares? Let's get into today's price action. I honestly didn't take much of a look at this. Most of this is going to be on the fly, but I kind of have an idea of how we moved. So, coming into the day, we're very range bound on the daily chart. We didn't sweep anything. Yes, we inversed this daily gap a couple days ago, but didn't get any push off of it. So you could argue buyers are losing momentum. Another thing you notice here is that we're at equilibrium and failing to push past equilibrium of this leg on NQ. So I'd say daily chart looks a little more bearish. 4 hours kind of the same thing. We didn't sweep any major liquidity. We aren't tapping any gaps. I really wanted to see this 4 hour intermediate high get hit the other day, but we never made the push to it. And then hourly wise, bro, my trading view is fucking dog shit right now. Hourly wise, as you can see, why is this shit not working? Oh my god, my shit is so laggy. As you can see, really accumulative on the hourly time frame. Now let's talk about liquidity. Okay, we have this high here. We have these highs here, or we have a bunch of lows here, and this is going to be a very important thing. You guys remember, I literally just made a video for the premium about, and it's in the pinned messages as always, drawn liquidity. And what did I mention in the drawn liquidity? I mentioned intermediate highs and lows, aka lows and highs inside of fair value gaps. So what was catching my eye, right? This fair value gap had been tapped into and left this low, and then we swept it out on the hourly time frame. This is such a nice low to get a move off of. And then what's right below it? This low as well. So these are fantastic draws on liquidity for us if we're going to sell off. Whereas these highs are fine. There's no gaps. Yes, we have London and Asia low. But let's say you're bearish, right? Or even bullish. If you're going to sell off here aggressively, why would we then reverse off of London? Wow, I really just drew a cock. I actually just drew a penis. Why would we reverse off London or reverse off Asia and leave this low or the next low, etc.? You know, like even this low is better than Asia and London because it's not in a range. Like this is in a range. It's not even a swing low, not even a swing low. This is a swing low. This is a swing low. And then, of course, these intermediate lows are nice as well. So obviously, if you're bearish, you know, you want to see all those draws get taken out. The main thing with reversals, and I always say this about reversals, how are you able to predict reversals, right? Well, you can't, sadly. It's just impossible. But you want to pick liquidity pools that have the best chance of getting a reversal off of it. And how do you know it's going to have a good chance of getting a reversal off of it? Well, it's simple. You just look for, you know, is there anything past this point that we should continue to go for? For example, if we hit London here, why would we hit London and then reverse? Like, why would this be the last man standing, for lack of a better term? Like, why would we go here and then bounce when we still have Asia, we still have this beautiful swing low, and we have these intermediate lows, right? So that doesn't really make any sense why we would stop at London. So in terms of sells, you want to take sells assuming the trend is with you all the way down to your draws that we marked out here, your draws on liquidity. And in terms of longs, you only want to take longs off of bounces from these significant draws on liquidity, because if we get a bounce off of London or off of Asia and you try to long it, there's a very significant chance, especially with how NQ's been moving the last month, super trendy, that you're going to get faked out and we're going to continue to sell off to our draws. All right, so it's always important to figure out your draw on liquidity and say, listen, I need confirmation. So you could say, oh, what if we do bounce off Asia and we get a fucking setup, right? Well, if Asia, for this example, truly is the last man standing and we get a bounce off of it, then guess what? I just wait for a 5 minute to open up and I take a continuation. That's fucking it. If I really went into the day and I said, listen, I don't think we're going to get a setup long until we take out at least this draw or this draw with a good reaction, and then I'm wrong and we pump it open. Like, remember, I always say in my daily bias, like, okay, if we do end up pumping it open and displacing through these highs, then I'll wait for a continuation or I'll take a reversal off the highs. It's the same fucking shit. Here, I didn't think Asia was going to do anything, but if it did, I would have waited for some structure to form, like a 5 minute fair value gap, and then you get a retrace. Fuck. What the fuck? But that just isn't the target. Also, very key point. We're inside this 15 minute right at open. As you can see, we're opening inside of this 15 minute. And this is a huge gauge for what price is going to do for the session. Are we going to inverse this at open with momentum, or are we going to respect it? And what happens? Open comes, we chop in this fuck. If you took a trade in the first 15 minutes of this bullshit, then I'm sorry, gang. What did the 15 minute candle do? It inversed. We didn't inverse, it inversed, sorry. So we inverse this 15 minute candle, meaning immediately you got to think, okay, order flow is bearish. Order flow is bearish. Also, if you said, oh, we also just made an SMT here, listen, bro, shut the fuck up. The reason why you're dumb as fuck is because, yes, we're getting an SMT, we're sweeping London low. But is that the draw? Is that the final stage? No. Let's see. Do we get a reaction off of it? No, we don't. You know why we don't? Because there's still more lows to go. There is more lows to go. All right? If we did get a reaction off of it, sick. Wait for more structure to form as confirmation, because that's how you get stop rated. If you take a setup off this shit, you're going to get stop rated, right? One setup that I think everybody took here, like this setup, whatever. Let me actually get the checklist out for you guys so I can tell you about it, right? So, this was the trade that everybody took, that I got about 20 messages of people taking today. It was this 30-second inverse that got stopped basically instantly, right? Stop loss below. Let's go 1-1. Great little, oh, look at that, a little internal high inside of a fair value gap on the same time frame. What happens? You get fucked. I think, at least, right? Or am I tripping? Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about it. You could have went break even on this trade. That is a fact. You could have went break even. If I took the trade, would have went break even. But let's talk about why this is a fucking bad trade. This is just not a good trade, all right? Let's look at it, all right? So checklist-wise, we're rejecting out of a higher time frame PD array, Asia low. We have an internal SMT, I believe. I believe we do, right? I might be wrong, but I remember someone mentioning that there was. Were they just fucking lying, maybe? I don't know. Oh, was this the setup? Yeah, whatever it was. Let me check, actually. Yeah, alright, so I have the right one. So, listen, this setup is not good. We have, I believe, an external SMT. We have an IFEG. There's liquidity above. What's the liquidity above, you might be asking? Well, we were opening up unfilled 5 minutes. So we had this unfilled 5 minute right here. And then we actually ended up opening up another one in the middle of this play, which is fine. So it's not like, you know, mechanically, checklist-wise, oh my god, this is an A+. Why is this dog shit? Well, it's because it's a pattern trade. At the end of the day, it's checking all the boxes. That doesn't mean it's a good trade, right? And you're going to get fucked on a trade like this almost all the time because, brother, as I just stated, we inverse this 15-minute gap. So order flow is immediately flipping bearish. We just swept London low, and then we just continued to displace through it, right? So as you can see, this is us hitting London low. We didn't even react off of it. Now here's us hitting Asia low. We're probably not going to react off of it. And now, okay, now we have this swing low here that we could target, and we have these lows that I marked out before, especially those intermediates. Now we start to say, okay, maybe a setup can form off this, right? Maybe we could get a long off of this setup. This is a swing low. It's a little bit better. And ES is hitting a fair value gap, right? So, let's see. So there's an SMT here, right here. ES is hitting a fair value gap. Fuck. No. I don't want to fucking... There we go. So, we go and we sweep this out. This is a way better long, in my opinion, than the one that you guys just took. In my humble opinion. The reason why I say that... Wow, not a fucking gap in mind. Is that really it? There's got to be like a 1 minute, right? I wouldn't take a 15-second off this. Wow, you really get hoed. I don't think there's a single gap. Wow, that fucking sucks. Internal SMT here. Maybe if there's a 15-second off this, I would take it. I'm literally just doing all this live. Yeah, there's no... Wow, that sucks. Okay, well, I thought this trade was good. A long off of this level would be money. The reason why this is so much better than this is because... Think about it. A draw on liquidity means we want to get a setup off of a low where we think there's no reason for price to go lower, or that we think it would make sense, it would be reasonable for price to reverse here. It would make no sense for price to reverse at London or Asia because they're just random lows in the middle of this fucking range when we have this swing low, this swing low, this swing low, intermediate lows below that are just such better draws than Asia and London. So I actually really would have liked to take a long off this level. I'm not gonna cap. What the fuck, bro? What is wrong with this shit? So obviously you would have gotten chopped into a fucking oblivion. It seems. I don't know. It doesn't seem like there's a gap, so it looks like I wouldn't have even been able to take a trade off of it anyway. But let me talk about, I believe there was a setup here that I probably would have taken, and it was this 15-minute fair value gap setup. So this, I believe, okay, so we formed a 15-minute, and then we made a move lower. Oh, this is a good-ass trade. Bro, this is a good-ass trade. This setup right here, is there an internal SMT as well? If there is, then it's an A-plus setup. There's not. Okay, so what happens? We run this low, and then we come up and we open a 15-minute fair value gap. I'm going to delete this last trade. So let's talk about this. This blue box above is a 15-minute fair value gap. We run this hourly low with an external SMT, and then we open a 15-minute fair value gap right here with this high. And then we run the low again, and we get a displacement candle back above the level on the 30. Let's see if there's a better close on the 1 minute maybe. Wow, neither of them are good closes. Fuck it. Yeah, that's fine. So I would probably take this long 1-to-1 to the 5 minute. So that would be a stop below the fair value gap. Damn, I would probably get stop break even on this, to be honest. I'd probably go break even at these equal highs. Yeah, today kind of fucking sucked. Wow, this is really cumulative. So that's a really good trade. And you could have tried to short off of the 15-minute right here. And just waited for the close, but the only reason why this would work is AMD and a retest of the 15, but it seemed like today we were just like touching gaps and lows and not reacting to them the first time and then reacting to them the second time. Another negative of this trade is that there was no internal SMT while tapping the 15-minute, and this would be off the second tap, but this 15-second inversion is not bad at all. And where can I take it to? The next draw on liquidity on the higher time frame, since we already swept out this low. I actually don't know if this ends up hitting or not. So let's try. Yeah, so that's like 3RR no drawdown trade. The reason why I probably wouldn't have taken this trade, even though it's pretty solid, is because, listen, we get a 15-second inversion, but there's no internal SMT on this leg. We do have a little mini AMD model here, which is cool, but and we are following the overall trend of the day. So I do like it. I do like it in that regard. And we have a very strong draw on liquidity with this intermediate low below. Let's see, actually, if there was an SMT or not. I'm assuming there wasn't. Yeah, I don't think there was. So this is honestly, and I fully believe this 15-second is probably the best trade of the day. Or the long off of here if we had a better gap. Like this this 30-second inversion, even if you wanted to try it a little early and before we came back above the level and tried to the 15, would have been a 2.4 RR trade. Pretty nice. Or even to these equal highs. I didn't even, yeah, like these are equal highs, bro. This is the best trade of the day. And then this trade. This trade is very good in terms of following the trend and the bias. And it's just a shit gap and a bad reaction, sadly. But this trade is good because it's a mech model. You're going for an unfilled 15-minute gap. And it's an actual point where I'd reverse off of, bro. An actual point where I'd fucking reverse off of. This is the point of Asia and London in this example is you would never want to take a trade long if this is the okay, like let's say none of this is here, right? Let's cross all this out and we're selling off and there's just a low right here. And then down here is a swing low that's also inside of a fair value gap. If we're selling off super aggressively at open, are you expecting a reversal off here? No, you're expecting a reversal off here or off here, you know, off a better level than this fucking bullshit. So that's the reason why the trade is bad. It's a pattern trade. It's just a mechanical checklist trade. Oh, it checked all my boxes, so I'm going to enter. It's just not how trading works. You need to know how draw and liquidity works. Just a draw and liquidity issue. And like I said, I could have been wrong as fuck, and we could have reversed off Asia. And then what would have happened? I would have waited for a 5-minute to open up or a 15, and I would have taken a continuation trade to one of my draws above, one of these highs. Because then I would say, it's like draw and liquidity. Why do you think I target draw and liquidity for my trades? It's because I think price will reverse off of it. So I'm going to get out there because I'm not like, oh, I have a draw and liquidity here. It's an intermediate high. Price is probably going to pump through that. Like, no, I'm going to get out there because price is probably going to reverse off of it. That's why it didn't reverse off Asia. That's why we got a long setup that ended up working to an unfilled 15. Like, why do you think we didn't tap any of these 5 minutes, but we did tap this 15-minute? Well, it's because we reversed off of an actually significant swing low on the hourly time frame. So sadly, the gaps were pretty shit for this long, but this was the best setup of the day to the unfilled 15 off an actual liquidity pool that matters, external SMT. And then the short off the 15-minute was good, just horrible fucking price action. So honestly, a very good day to fade in my opinion. Like this price action is pretty shit, but yeah, those two trades are good, very, very good. More like discretionarily, or like those trades actually make sense. Whereas the long off Asia, I apologize, makes no fucking sense. I feel like you're just like praying that price is going to reverse off of it because it swept the session low. Like it's not even an hourly swing low, bro. So yeah, that's my opinion on today. Today was definitely tricky, weird price action for sure. But that long off that swing low with the reaction with the SMT and targeting the unfilled 15 is probably the best trade. And we made a manipulation leg to make that 15-minute, so that's pretty good. Good displacement above the level as well, so that's a good trade. Just no good gaps, honestly, and a lot of chop. And then the short off the 15-minute was very good as well, but once again, no good gaps. So those were the two setups I'd take if we got better gaps and closes, and that's what I would have went for. But it seemed like today was pretty shit anyway. So yeah, all right, bye.